Good day. We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. Newly appointed Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. is calling for unity and to keep the one defense team intact. Galvez made the call during a transition briefing at the DND main office in Camp Aguinaldo. During the said briefing, outgoing DND officer in charge Jose Faustino Jr. briefed Galvez on the different accomplishments of the department along with his recommendations to ensure continuity in the agency. A formal report highlighting the department's plans as well as the 10-point agenda initiated by Faustino was also presented during the meeting. Galvez said he will ensure that the gains of the past secretaries will be sustained as well as the capability of the country's national defense. He also underscored the need to push the morale of the DND employees and strengthen professionalism in the AFP. Immigration Commissioner Norman Tansingco supports the opening of new airports, noting the limited space at the immigration counters. This is his reaction to the reported long lines at the immigration counters following the post-New Year glitch at the country's airports. Tansingco called on all agencies involved in airport operations to work together to resolve airport lines and assist the passengers even with the current situation. He said more can be done to regulate the influx of passengers, such as proper scheduling at the airport. Tansingco said BI has already reached the maximum capacity of counters at the airport and has even assigned 2 to 4 immigration officers in counters in certain terminals. With the reopening of our borders, he said, the government must innovate in anticipation of the rebound of international tourism. Distributors and consumers continue to comply with a voluntary recall of the Food and Drug Administration on a multivitamin syrup that contained a toxic substance. As of January 5, over 34,000 bottles of Sangobion Kid Syrup have been removed from retail shelves. Over 135,000 out of the 426,000 bottles of imported syrup were also put on hold in the marketing authorization holder's distributor's warehouse. The FDA ordered the voluntary recall of Sangobion Kid Syrup due to the detection of excess levels of ethylene glycol. The FDA received 18 adverse drug reaction reports caused by Sangobion Kid Syrup as of January 9. Adverse reactions include vomiting, diarrhea, decreased appetite, pallor, and abdominal pain. No fatal or life-threatening outcomes are reported. Those who have purchased the product and have suffered adverse effects may contact Procter & Gamble Philippines, the National Poison Management and Control Center, and the Center for Drug Regulation and Research, and the FDA. In other news, at least 10 coastal areas in the country have tested positive for toxic red tide, which means that shellfish in these areas are unfit for human consumption. In a shellfish bulletin, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, said these areas tested positive for paralytic shellfish poison, or PSP, beyond the regulatory limit. The BFAR reiterated that shellfish and asitis or alamang in the 10 areas are unsafe to eat. However, other seafood such as fish, squid, shrimps, and crabs caught in the said coastal areas are safe, provided that they are fresh and washed thoroughly. Their internal organs, such as gills and intestines, must also be removed before cooking. Individuals who eat seafood with PSP may experience symptoms such as tingling of lips and tongue minutes after eating poisonous shellfish. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change.